around the world. You're doing great things around the world. Yeah, you're doing great things around the world. You're doing great things around the world. Great things. Yeah.
Welcome to another episode of Diaspora Link here exclusively on Ghanaweb TV. I am your host, as always, Diallo Sumbri. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm really excited about the interview we have this week with a good friend of mine, Keren Johnson, who's relocated from LA to Accra. Let's find out a little bit more about Keren, and then let's dive into the interview. Let's go.
Great things. Yeah.
So before we dive into this interview with today's guest, Keren Johnson, let's get to know a little bit about Keren. Keren.
Yeah.
This is something we do called choices.
Okay.
It's very simple.
Okay.
I give you two choices. You pick one, and you tell us why.
Okay.
Right?
Love it.
Okay. You ready to go?
Ready.
Here we go. LA or DC?
LA.
Why?
I'm from there, you know. If I got to choose a coast, you know.
If you got to choose a coast, let it be the West.
Yeah.
Let it be the West.
Yeah.
Okay.
For sure.
All right. Some nice, good home cooked macaroni and cheese, or jollof rice.
Macaroni and cheese.
All day mac and cheese.
All day.
Jollof can't touch it.
No, I don't even like rice.
Oh, how are you surviving here without liking
No,
rice?
I don't even like rice.
All
Yeah.
right.
Macaroni and cheese for sure.
I got you. Whew. I got another one for you. All right. Next, you've been in Ghana for a little while. So, banku versus fufu.
Neither. Oh.
Neither?
Neither.
You don't like banku?
No.
And you don't like fufu?
If I had to.
Hey.
Omotu? What is it?
Omotu?
Omotu.
Rice balls.
Yes. Can I pick that?
Omotu. You pick omotu. No banku. No fufu.
I eat all of them, but I like omotu.
No problem.
Okay.
Even though that wasn't one of the choices.
Okay.
I've never met anyone that doesn't like banku or fufu.
It's not don't like, but choice.
It's not one of your top choices.
Yeah, I eat them all.
All right, I got you. All right, how about this? Twist or Bloom Bar?
Ooh.
I knew you. See, I know you go out to the club, so let me see.
Bloom Bar.
Bloom Bar over Twist. Why
Over
Bloom
Twist.
Bar?
Bloom Bar, like every time I go, I always have a good time, and I like the open air.
Okay.
And I feel like it's just like a vibe.
It's a vibe.
It's a vibe. Unlike Twist, which I love, but it's a club. So if you've been to any club,
You feel
you've
like
been
you've
to,
feel like you've
so
been
I'll
there.
say Bloom.
Okay. How about this? And I'm talking about neighborhoods here. Osu or Laboni?
Oh, Laboni.
You like Laboni? So why Laboni over Osu?
I'm a suburban person.
Okay.
I like to be like near the action, but not in it. So I think Laboni, you can get, but yeah.
Laboni, that's actually a perfect example.
Yeah.
A perfect example.
Yeah.
Okay, one more.
Okay.
Since we know you don't like rice, and we know you don't like banku, and we know you don't. Well, not that you don't like it, but it's not one of your favorites. We're gonna go to good old American sweet potato pie versus apple pie.
I'm stressed out. Because this is where
Sweet potato pie
everybody's
versus
going to
apple
be
pie.
like, she said what? But apple pie with cheese and ice cream. That's my favorite.
That's not weird to me. So I've heard about this cheese on apple pie thing. I mean, it's not. I'm a sweet potato pie guy though, all day.
I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. We all have.
No,
Look, no, it's okay. The point of us playing this choices game is for us to remember and recognize that every day we all make different choices. We make different choices that we don't even really think about. It's just we make choices based on the things that we like, based on the things that we're comfortable with, based on where we're from. And our choices should never divide us. Our choices should only serve to help us get to know each other better so that we can be more unified. Choices. Okay, next up, top 5.
Okay.
Are you ready for top 5?
I'm ready.
Okay. Top 5 is simple. I'm going to give you 5 categories,
All right.
and you choose.
Okay.
You give us one top of each category.
Oh, okay. Whew, I thought I was ready.
Pressure.
Pressure.
Pressure. Pressure bust pipes. Okay, number 1, favorite book of all time. Now, let me explain this top 5. If it's not your favorite, like, you just choose one for us and tell us why.
Okay. Yassi's actually Transcendent Kingdom, her latest work.
Transcendent Kingdom by Ya
Gyasi.
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 Ya Gyasi. Okay. Transcendent Kingdom. Why that book?
It gives such a multi-dimensional look at a Ghanaian immigrant's life living in Alabama and confronting racism, but also confronting mental health issues. And it goes back and forth in such a way that I identified with every character. And I just love, she's a Ghanaian American author.
Okay.
Her name is Ya, which my name is Ya, technically born on Thursday.
Okay.
So I felt like I actually went into her world and I loved it.
Nice.
So yeah.
Nice. Okay, how about this? Favorite sport?
Ooh, I'm big.
You can only choose one.
Only choose one. To play or to watch? Okay, volleyball.
Volleyball.
Yeah.
To play and to watch?
Yeah.
Nice. Did you play volleyball?
Yeah.
Okay. You played in high school?
school.
College?
No.
High school.
No, I was a dancer.
Nice.
Jumping like it's hot. But no, I have like, sometimes when you have like anger management issues, you just hit the ball and it's like, like I love that.
Got you.
Yeah.
Volleyball it is.
Volleyball.
All right. Favorite food? It can be a type of food or a
Easy.
specific
Done.
dish.
Mexican guacamole every day, like every
Chips
type.
and guacamole.
Every day.
Taco
of my
Tuesday?
life. Every day.
La Cocina?
La Cocina, La Borracha, like my house, like, yeah. And when I go back and forth, I always bring like refried beans. I always bring tortilla, like Mexican guacamole. Hands
Guacamole.
by itself.
Just guacamole.
Just by itself.
with
guacamole.
chips, with
Not even with like.
you can just eat guacamole with a spoon.
Yeah, and I do.
Wow.
I
wow,
do.
wow. I'm gonna have to make you some of my avocado toast. I think I make like the best avocado toast in like a 5,000-mile radius or something
Yeah,
like that.
I mean, when you're saying food, like it's hard to choose because I'm greedy, so I'll eat anything. Like,
I'm greedy too.
yeah.
All right, so next, favorite musical artists across all genre of all time. You can only pick one.
I'm so sorry, Drake. Nina Simone.
Nina Simone. No, that's, I see, so I'm a Drake fan. But Drake and Nina, I can't even, I get it.
Yeah.
Like,
I think Drake would get it.
No, I think he would get it. He probably would say, oh,
Yeah.
I wouldn't pick Nina Simone over me either.
Yeah.
I get it.
Nina.
Okay. Favorite place to vacation. It could be a place that you've already been, or it could be a place that you want to go.
I would say Reykjavik. I don't even know if I'm pronouncing it right, but Reykjavik, Iceland was top 2 and not 2. Like it was amazing.
Really?
Yeah, totally.
What was it about it?
Like it was just clean air, nice people, seeing very different environments, like seeing a geyser. I don't think I've ever seen a geyser, and being in a hot spring and these volcanoes and black sand beaches and more than 12 hours were darkness. So it was off the beaten path, and it was kind of in the time that I needed a getaway. So
You needed to be there. So
I should probably learn how to pronounce that place, but that place, that part, Iceland.
Say it again.
That
part.
Reykjavik.
That part. So that is our top 5. Why do we do top 5? What you should know is that as you begin to travel and move around the diaspora, especially if you're moving from London, America, the Caribbean, or whatever, to an African country, one good way to get to meet somebody is to find out their top 5. Again, our focus is figuring out a way to help us bring each other closer together. And I know it's kind of weird, right? You're not going to sit next to somebody waiting to board a plane and be like, hey, what's your top 5? They might be like, what? I'm not sitting next to this crazy guy. But it works. So make sure you ask someone's top 5 as you're getting to know them. Yeah. Especially if you're dating or something like that, you can just play your own little dating game. But we're going to get more into that. So let's dive into the interview and learn more about our guest, Keren Johnson.
Great things, yeah, around the world.
And we are back with another exciting guest and another exciting episode of Diaspora Link. We've already found out a little bit about our guest. Now let's dive into the interview and help me welcome Keren Johnson. Keren.
Hi.
My sister.
My brother.
How are you?
I want a hug.
You want a hug? No problem. No problem. All
My
right.
brother. Thank you.
No problem. Don't try that at home, ladies and gentlemen.
No.
We don't want anybody getting hurt.
No. No.
All right. So, Keren,
Diallo.
what brings you to Accra?
Ooh,
That's a big question,
Ooh,
right?
it's such a big question. It's like juicy. I've been coming to Accra since 2016.
Okay.
And I came here for the first time for vacation. I was actually going to South Africa for a music festival. The flight was way too long from Los Angeles. Had to figure out where to break it up. And I was like,
Okay.
let me break it up in Accra. So I came here for 5 days, and I was like,
This
what?
is 2016.
Yes.
Okay.
2016, way before the year of return.
Right, right.
Which, you know, I came back for that as well. But I came for vacation, and I came for just maybe 5 days, 6 days. And I was like, you know, I got the bug. It felt good on
5
me.
days.
Yeah, in one day.
In one
the
day,
first 24
on
hours.
your first day, your first 24 hours,
First
you got
24 hours.
bit by the Ghana bug.
For sure. I went to this lounge in Osu, a rooftop lounge, and I was talking to someone, and this guy goes, how are you liking Ghana so far? I said, how do you know I've never been to Ghana? He's like, oh, I can see you glowing. So that's like the first 24 hours for me.
Okay.
And I kept coming back and forth, each time longer and longer.
Okay.
And then I just made the move last year. I
made
was
the
like,
move.
I can't have my epicenter be in the States.
So you made the move in 2020.
Yeah, in
during,
COVID.
During the pandemic. Okay,
the
so
pandemic.
all right, so this is what we're going to do. Now let's backtrack. We're going to get
Okay.
back. We're going to come back to you being here and what you're doing here. Now,
Okay.
let's tell everybody, where are you from?
Okay, from Los Angeles, California,
Okay.
originally. Born and raised, and then I went to college in Washington, D.C. So I always say I came of age in D.C.
Okay.
But those two are my
So
anchors.
elementary school, middle school, high school, all of that LA.
Yep.
In LA, like
Proper.
LA proper, within the tax-paying lines
Yep.
of LA.
Yep, like if
Okay.
I didn't have on heels, I'd probably do the crip walk or something like that, but it's okay. I could beat my feet too, but you know.
Right. Okay,
Yeah.
so then you went to DC for school.
Yeah, I went to
And
undergrad there.
where did you go to school in DC?
The American University, once an eagle, always an eagle.
Ah, okay.
You
You
know?
know, it's all. You know what I appreciate about AU? I went to UDC, right up the street, and our library was not 24 hours.
Yeah.
In my grad school, I spent a lot of time in AU libraries
Yeah.
studying literary criticism.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, AU's campus is beautiful.
Beautiful
And,
campus.
You know, we've done a great deal of diversity, equity, and inclusion work.
Yep.
I think when I was there, and I don't want to date myself, but I was there in
Don't worry, you ain't got to tell us.
okay, like, but there were very few students of color. And those of us who were there, it was actually, I don't know if I'm getting ahead of myself, but it was like my first time being introduced to a lot of the diversity in African culture, because where I'm from in LA, we mostly have Ethiopians.
Okay.
And everyone thinks I'm Ethiopian, so I got like roped into feeling like an honorary Ethiopian. But when I went to college, I was like, wow, like this is really opening
interesting.
my mind. So that was my first curiosity really about the
You
continent.
know, you just brought up something interesting, because a lot of people don't talk about the diversity in African cultures.
Correct.
So when you grew up in LA, you were mainly around Ethiopian culture.
Yeah.
So West African culture, South African culture, things that a lot of people are more familiar with now wasn't necessarily present when you were growing up.
Not at all. Or if it was, I wasn't, you know,
Right.
exposed to it.
Okay.
So that might have been my own miseducation, misinformation. But yeah, by the time I went to school in the East Coast and met my Ivorians, you know, I was like, oh, what is this?
Right,
you
right,
know?
right,
and
right.
So yeah,
So AU, so you went to college in DC, and then from DC,
stayed. I
Stayed in
worked on
DC.
Capitol Hill.
okay.
I worked
What did you do on Capitol Hill?
I worked on both the House and Senate side. So when I was working on the House side, I worked for, this is going to date myself. Dang. I worked for.
Don't worry. You look good, sis. You look good. You look
okay.
good.
Well,
so
you know, black don't crack.
whatever date it is, it's okay.
So this was about 2005, 2006.
Okay.
And I worked for, at that time, Ways and Means Chair Charlie Rangel.
Okay.
And then I went over, and again, dating myself, I worked for Senator Clinton when she was a senator.
Okay.
So I worked basically on those two sides of government, and then from there went to work on the Hilary Clinton campaign on her first presidential primary run.
Okay, nice.
Yeah, and went all the way through when she was working at the State Department. I worked at USAID.
Okay.
I went back to school. I left when I was 30.
Wow.
So
okay.
that was yesterday.
That was yesterday. No problem. Yesterday it is. All right. So you mentioned that you were on your way to South Africa.
Yeah.
Right. And you stopped in Ghana.
Yeah.
So you've been to South Africa. You've been to Ghana. Are there other African countries that you visited?
Yeah, I've been to Morocco.
Okay.
Which was lovely. Again, this diversity of the African continent.
Yep,
Morocco is
yep.
like way heads and tails different in terms of shape, texture, dimension, culture,
Yes.
food, language, the whole
I need to
smell,
go back.
experience.
I need to go back to Morocco.
I need to go
I was
back to
only in
Morocco.
Casablanca, and I need to go to Marrakesh.
Okay,
so.
see, I went to Casablanca, Marrakesh, and Chefchaouen,
Okay.
and even want to go back myself to
Nice.
Fez, and you know.
A friend of mine told me Fez is the jewel of Morocco. Anyway, we're not going to get too.
We just gonna go.
I got you. Okay, so
There's a
Morocco,
direct
South Africa, Ghana,
Nigeria. I
Nigeria.
just came back from Nigeria. I've been to South Africa multiple times.
Okay.
And then one of the times that I was there, I was working on a documentary with my sister.
Okay.
So really had a deep dive into a lot of the anti-apartheid struggles that this one particular character that we were profiling went through. So that was really intense. And then Kenya.
Kenya. Okay, nice. So, ladies and gentlemen, what we're going to do now is dive into the game that we love called Africa in 60. Okay. So, Africa in 60 is really simple, where we challenge our guests to name as many African countries as they can in 60 seconds.
Oh.
See, we got that competition is coming. Look. And look, everybody wants to know the leaderboard. How am I doing? How did I do against other people? We're going to put the leaderboard up at some point. So,
all right.
You ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. Is my timer starting?
Who am I looking at?
You looking at me. Don't worry about nobody else. This is between me and you. We're going to count. Okay.
Every time I say it, though, you need to be like,
No. We're going to keep count. Okay, you ready? 3, 2, 1, go.
Okay, Angola, Algeria, Egypt, Sudan, South Sudan, Republic of Congo, Nigeria, Benin, Ivory Coast, Senegal, Togo, Ghana, of course, Kenya, of course, South Africa, Botswana, Tanzania. There are so many. Let me go back up to the north. Let me get Libya, Morocco. Did I say Algeria?
Nope, Algeria.
Okay, Algeria. Equatorial Guinea.
Nice.
What are my ECOWAS countries? Okay, Liberia. Did I say Cote d'Ivoire?
Nope.
Okay. Give me. See, now I'm feeling stressed because I was off to a really good start.
Don't worry. We got some more in the east.
Okay, Botswana.
Go east.
Go east. Obviously Ethiopia. How did I miss that? Eritrea.
Okay, that's it. Time up.
Dang.
You got about 25. You did good.
That's only half, though.
Yo, you did a good job. I mean, everybody feels like they should have done better, but when the pressure is on, it's different.
Yeah.
You could be looking at the African map all day, every day, but when the pressure is on, it's different.
Yeah, because I miss Chad, I miss Uganda, I miss Rwanda.
Hey, don't try to Zamunda and Wakanda. You forgot Zamunda and Wakanda. Don't try to add any more. But, ladies and gentlemen, Africa in 60. Why do we play Africa in 60? We want you to know that Africa is a large continent. It's diverse. There are 54 countries. In each country, there are multiple languages. There are multiple cultures. So there's so much happening on this continent that when you think about Africa, make sure you just don't think Africa is one place. No one speaks African. It's a whole wide, vast land. So let's respect that. All right, let's get back to the interview.
I love it.
You like that? See, that's why we didn't prepare you for that, because we wanted to see how. But you was ready though. You got to the edge of the chair. You was ready to get it. Okay, so we talked about you in AU, and then you working on the Hill, House
Yeah.
of Representatives, and
Yeah.
the Senate. So at some point you stopped doing that and you decided to do something else.
Yeah. So at some point, Hilary Clinton lost her election. So,
Yes.
and I mean the second one, right?
Right.
So at that point, I felt that I had put all my chips in the political basket, and I actually really wasn't getting out of it what I wanted, not just in terms of employment, but in terms of satisfaction. So I had a house in DC that I sold, made a bunch of money, and I did what I felt a lot of people don't really get an opportunity to do, which is at 30 paid off all my debt and traveled. So
Nice.
I went everywhere. I was like a traveling fool, and it was like, oh, you in Costa Rica?
Europe,
Yeah.
South America,
Yeah.
Asia, Africa.
Yeah, I put Africa last. Not in terms of like last priority, but I put it in the space where I was like, I know that once I get here, I'm gonna want to spend the most amount of time.
Got you.
So
Okay.
I would go to like Thailand for a week, or I go to Costa Rica for a little bit, and I popped all over. I think I did Iceland. I did some like off the grid places, even for me. And then, I just had a very special connection to the continent. And at that point, I had the time, the money, the resources. I should put a little asterisk point that I lost my mom in 2018. So I had to go back
Sorry
to
to hear
LA.
that, as you know. Right.
It's Breast Cancer Awareness Month. I lost my mom to breast cancer. So please, 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 like, check the tatas. But
Ladies,
yeah.
from Karen, check your breasts, check your tatas,
Yeah.
as she says.
Yeah.
Breast cancer is very serious.
It
So shouts out and respect to everybody who's lost someone to breast cancer, and to everyone who's dealing with breast cancer at any point in their lives.
Yeah. And the reason I put that asterisk in there is because it really changed my outlook and purpose, because I started a legacy scholarship in honor of my mom.
Okay.
And that legacy scholarship is one that I run through the Black Swan Academy in DC
Okay.
to bring youth to the continent of Africa.
Okay.
So it kind of really
Now, what year was
changed.
this? This was, your mom passed in 2018,
Yeah.
and you did this the same year.
Yeah. So around the time we met.
Right.
Yeah. Around
Right.
the time we met.
Yeah.
So
In LA.
in LA.
Crazy outside of whatever it was.
Yeah.
We made it happen. We was like
We've
on
been
a park
outside
bench.
of like the Hollywood Bowl.
Exactly.
Like, are you outside? I'm outside. Yeah. But yeah, putting together that legacy scholarship, I knew I wanted to do something a little different. My mom was a real philanthropist and a real traveler, and actually invoked that in me. So I wanted to make sure that young people had that early on. And so I was looking at it and I was thinking, wow, like of all the places that I had traveled, Ghana was really special, and I wished I would have come sooner. So I was like, I'm going to fundraise for children to come sooner.
Right.
So that's kind of where I started, and my career has taken off from there in that direction.
Right. So something interesting is you first experiencing African culture, right, in LA through Ethiopian culture. Most people know when they go to Ethiopian restaurant, in Jerry, you eat with your hands food, and then you travel to the East Coast and you began to have some experiences with other forms of African culture. What is it about, what has connecting with your culture, right? Ethiopian, South African, Ghanaian, whatever. What has that done for you, right? Because there are a lot of black people. So what has connecting with the culture done for you?
Oh, so much. Like, I think it has rooted me in my place in the world. Like, I wish, I always tell people now, I wish someone would come up to me and call me something like offensive, like the N-word or whatever. It's like, I'm an African queen. Please address me as such, you know? And I think also that it has allowed me to feel like I belong somewhere, belong to, like, even though Africa is very diverse and it's not one, like, monolithic place, one-dimensional place.
Right.
It is one identity. So it is an identity that I can grab to and go, this is mine. And so that's really been an anchor for me.
Nice. What about your friends and family? Have they traveled here?
Yeah, my 85-year-old father came here. Actually, my older sister is the one who I went and did the documentary with in South Africa.
Okay.
My middle sister has not traveled here, but she's planning to. And then my stepmother is actually a professor of African studies and African literature. So she had done a lot more traveling than even me. And then on my father's side, we're from the Caribbean. So
Okay. Which island?
Barbados and Antigua.
Barbados and Antigua.
One
Shouts
time.
out to my Bajans. Bye.
Ah,
Respect all my brothers. You know who you are.
Rihanna, call me.
I got a whole crew of brothers in DC from Barbados. You know, my brother, Spider the DJ, who passed away from lymphoma cancer, and he's from Barbados. And like I have a whole Bayesian family back in DC that I miss and I love. Shouts out, y'all.
Yeah.
Spider strong all day. I'll be home soon.
And
Anyway.
also, I mean, just the connection is so strong because if you go to Asan Mansu, which is here in Ghana, the last bath, you'll see there are 3 tombs. One from the exhumed remains of a slave from Jamaica, one from an exhumed slave from the remains of an exhumed slave from New York, and then all of the collected bones and anything that could be sent back from the country of Barbados, which was donated by our Prime Minister. So very, very strong ties.
I remember when that happened.
Very strong ties.
I remember when that happened. Talk to us a little bit about Black Swan Academy.
Okay.
Like, where are these youth from? What are their ages?
Yeah, so Black Swan Academy is a nonprofit that we work in partnership with the DC public school system.
Okay.
We run a curriculum on pride, purpose, and power for Black youth.
Okay.
We focus on Black youth, although it's open to anyone. And most of our students are interested in policy, interested in politics, but they're from underrepresented communities. And so we teach them a curriculum around like how to be an activist, how to understand budget, how to run for office, and they sometimes run for student government. We've been doing this program now a little over 7 years. I helped start it up with Samantha Davis. She's the CEO, and I was one of the founding board members.
Okay.
I have since taken a step back, but what I do run is just the Betty Ann Johnson Scholarship. So that's our scholarship that we try and make sure that any of our youth, and we've actually retooled it a little bit with COVID. So any of our youth who are in any sort of need, my mom was a single mom, and you know, I just remember that. Like, sometimes you need to get some school clothes. Sometimes you need to get some groceries. Sometimes you need to go to Ghana. And any of those things, there's a fund there.
Right.
But I do a lot of work with the Black Swan Academy to make sure that our youth are on that curriculum track of pride, purpose, and power. Beautiful.
Pride, purpose, and power. And with those 3 Ps, we're going to take a small break, and we'll be right back more with Keren Johnson.
You're doing great things around.
Peace, global African family. My name is Diallo Sumbri. I'm a co-architect of Ghana's Year of Return 2019, and I'm the president and CEO of the Adinkra Group. For the past 5 years, we've been bringing loads and loads of people to Ghana. Many of them, their first time on the African continent, their first time putting their toes in the African sand, in the African soil. And so many people have had their life changed. Our Birthright journeys are curated cultural immersion journeys centered around reclaiming cultural identity, exploring your ancestral heritage, and celebrating African resilience. It gives me great pleasure to introduce our Birthright Journey Partner Program. It's really simple, and you really don't have to do much other than email us at info@theadinkragroup.com. Now, what makes a great Birthright Journey partner for our program? Are you a leader? Are you an influencer? Are you that person that your family calls on to organize, or do you automatically know that that's your job? Are you somebody of status in your community? Are you a community leader? Are you that person in your church or in the school? If you are the ideal Birthright Journey partner. Do you believe that every person of African descent should have an opportunity to touch ground on the continent of Africa? If you are, then you are the ideal Birthright Journey partner. It's simple. We're going to show you how you can travel to Ghana for free. Not only can you travel to Ghana for free, but you can actually get paid to travel to Ghana. Really simple. Just contact us at info@theadinkragroup.com and set up a discovery call. You'll get to travel with your family and friends, you'll get to travel with your community, and the best part of it is that it'll be free for you. Or you'll even earn money doing it. So again, info@theadinkragroup.com. We look forward to seeing you in Ghana. We look forward to dancing with you in Ghana. We look forward to eating fufu, eating jollof, eating wache. Make sure you contact us now, and we would love for you to become a Birthright Journey partner. Madasi. And we are back with our guest, Keren Johnson. Keren, we're back.
Thanks.
Thank you. I'm really enjoying this conversation. So I always learn something new about our guests. Like I'm always, because you think you know somebody, which is okay because you're supposed to find out more. All right, so Black Swan Academy. I think it's pride, purpose, and
Power.
power. What kind of impact do you think traveling to Ghana will have on your students?
Oh, I think it'll be life-changing. I think it'll be life-changing in two fronts. One, a lot of our students, they're from Ward 5, 6, 7, and 8. Traditionally, DC's chocolate. This is where we come in.
Right.
We
I
go
was about to break down the wards. I'm going to let you go ahead. And then
which, even though they're so close to Capitol Hill or close to the National Mall, a lot of the students don't get out. They don't see it until someone exposes them to it. So I know that until someone says, here's your first passport, or here's your first time coming out of the country, like this might not happen. So I'm happy that that's like sort of that light that you never know where it's going to shine. So I love that. And the second thing is we have a curriculum of pride, purpose, and power, but it's rooted in Blackness. We deal with Black youth. So I don't think you can really have Black consciousness, Black pride, Black power, and know where it's going to take you until you know where you've come from. So I definitely think that will be, and it's my goal to expose them to that as early as possible.
That's incredible. I believe that every person of African descent, not only a young person, should at some point in their life, just touch down one time. And one of the things we always say is that we know when you get here, you find your own magic. Everybody finds their own magic. But one of the other things that we know from being experience of being on the ground is that, especially from the West, we have this very romantic and romanticized, this romantic relationship and this romanticized idea of what Africa, Ghana is, what it should be. And I'm gonna get off the plane, I'm gonna kiss the ground, I'm gonna save some dirt and take some water home, which is cool. But we also know that the transition is not always smooth.
No, that's correct.
and it's not America, it's a different place, right? And it's something that we don't shy away from because it's real, and we want other people who are coming to learn from our mistakes and do better. And so let's get into what some of the challenges may have been that you faced in making the transition. I remember some of our conversations, that first conversation in LA, and you was like, yo, I'm thinking about moving to Ghana. Then when I saw you was like, I did it. I was like, yo, you here. Like, you here for real. So let's talk about some of the...
I'm about that life.
You about that life,
Yes.
1,000%.
1,000%.
So what are some of the challenges, just in general, that you've kind of run into during the transition?
Yeah, I mean, for starters, it's expensive. And I really...
Hold on, say that again.
For starters, it's expensive.
You know why I asked you to say that again? Because people don't believe that. In every African, but Accra can be expensive.
It's expensive. It's very expensive. And I had, to your point about romanticizing it, I mean, I remember all the times that I had come before, I had either come on vacation where I was like ready to blow my money, or I had come and like stayed with a family. So it was like, oh, we really not spending anything. But when I had to pay a year's rent in advance, I was like, how? Like literally, how? Me.
That's how we can tell you've been in Ghana.
How?
A lot of people don't know that landlords will take a year's advance in rent. So if it's $500 a month, you do the math, that's $6,000. If it's $1,000 a month, that's $12,000.
Yeah.
And it's kind of hard to escape it.
And I found a really fair and lovely landlord who I would gladly refer to anyone. He's so amazing. And he was really flexible and willing to work with me, but it was like a needle in a haystack. And then even when I did find him and we worked everything out, it wasn't like month to month. To your point, it's not an American system. So we didn't quite get to a year, and I think he was very fair with the pricing, but it was all my savings. It was just like at once, gone. It's hard to replenish dollars, so still having to work some things out in America. It's expensive. And I think also one of the challenges I faced, how real are we going? Like how?
Well, I'm here with you.
I'm here with you.
I'm here with you. So
here with you.
listen.
Yeah.
Wherever you want to go, we can go.
All right,
as long
let's
as
go.
you're comfortable, I'm rocking with you. So
Okay.
let's go.
All right. Well, I want to get in that chair, but I'm going to stay in this one. But we gonna go over here. So I think, I always viewed myself like as a very Pan-African woman, a very
Okay.
Pan-African person, very prideful in that Pan-Africanism ideal and blackness. And it wasn't until I got to Ghana that someone called me a white person
Wow.
for the first time. And I was like, a what?
What they call you, a Bruni?
A Bruni, or like just even confronting that identity politics for the first time, where for so long you've had this identity crisis of trying to figure out where you fit in and where you're from and who you are. And then you get to the continent of Africa and you're like, my brother. And they're like, I don't know you. I do not know you. And in fact, not only do I not know you, it's 2 times the price.
Right.
So that was happening to me few and far between. It wasn't like, anything.
But enough
Yeah.
for you to come face to face with
Yeah.
yourself in a different way.
Yeah, like I think 95% of the people who I've met embrace me. I think 95% of the people who I've met really understand the connection in the diaspora and want to link and want to build and want to be united. They're like-minded individuals. That's why I mess with them. You know what I mean? That's why they mess with me. But in terms of that small 5%, it's enough. And it's like, it's in the most weird of moments, where you're like in the market and you're just, oh, I'm going to get some papaya, auntie, how are you? And then they're like, who are you? And that was
I'm
hard.
not your auntie.
I'm not your auntie. I'm not your auntie. And it was challenging because it really threw
That's a lot to deal with
Yeah.
because we come from a place where we're constantly searching for identity, right? Beyond the idea of being black. And coming to Africa is the solution for
Correct.
us. For many of us
Correct.
coming from America, black Americans.
Correct.
Coming to Africa is the solution to restoring identity. And then when you come here, and as you said, you face that challenge where not only you see that it's not all the way what you thought, but there are black people, African people here who look at you the same way they look like as a white person. And
Yeah.
So you've had these experiences, right? Found out it's expensive, and you've had these kind of, like you said, identity politics. So because I always see challenges as opportunities.
Yeah.
So what opportunities did those things present to you? Like, how did you, money is money. So once you got to pay that money.
Yeah.
But it
Yeah.
definitely wakes you up to say, okay, it brings you to a new reality space of where I am and what it's
Yeah.
going to take to stay here and do this, right?
Yeah.
Congratulations, because you're still here.
I've been here a year.
You've been here for a year, and I always tell people that sometimes we see a lot more people leave,
Yeah.
quote unquote unsuccessful than we do see stay,
Yeah.
right? So how have you been managing the identity politics? How have you been managing this reckoning where you come face to face with yourself differently because you're here and people
Yeah.
don't feel as,
Yeah. Well, twofold. The first thing is I had to really come to Jesus. I am a white woman. I didn't realize this. I was like, oh my God, why she say that? Then I was like, oh, that's why she said that. Because there's like a certain level of timeliness or, like talk backness, confrontation style. There's a certain level of, I'm always writing things down on paper. I think that's the way you should communicate. It's like, I sent an email. And that very much so is Western
Right.
and very much so synonymous with white. So then when
Okay.
you see why they're saying it, you're like, oh, okay, next time I won't, I have an issue with some security thing. I won't write an email. I will just go and address it in the same way that it should be addressed, which is, a little bit of like involving the elders, or maybe not the elders, but like the people who have lived here, because
Right.
that's how it should be handled. When I started handling things differently, I started being addressed differently. So I
Wow.
go, oh,
Okay.
all right, let me show up 30 minutes late. That's cool.
Let me not be the only
Let me
person
not
on
be the only
time.
one here on time. That
Waiting
works
for
out.
everybody else
that
getting
works out.
frustrated?
Yeah,
Right,
and
right.
when I get into a situation where I'm frustrated or somebody is, sort of trying to like nickel and dime me, for example, I gave it in the market. It's like, at this point, I just give the money because I'm like, I don't really want to go back. If I do see you as my sister and I do want this papaya, even though I know you're charging me some quote unquote Obroni price, I have it. So let me give it to you because at the end of the day, I don't want to go back and forth. And the next time I come back, now you're calling me auntie, you know? So that's kind of changed. And
I got you. That's
yeah.
honorable because I want my 2 CDs. So, no. I'm not a tourist, so I know how much it costs in 3 regions.
Yeah.
So I know the price for Accra.
Yeah. No, it's true. Like, and I guess the thing is, like, you have to just decide.
Yes,
Do I want to go back
yes.
and forth about 2 CDs?
No, you're right. You're right. Sometimes, because I get it. Trust me, I get it. And that's a part of the learning. So what are you doing here in Accra now? How are you sustaining yourself? What kind of work are you doing? What are you building? Talk to me about that.
So I have elevated up a notch from the Keren Johnson scholarship, which I still do run and work on. Okay. But I have a wonderful, like you know her, I have a wonderful philanthropic partner in Walla, El Sheikh, who runs Birthright Africa. So Birthright Africa is a fundraising partner and basically working with a lot of organizations to help fundraise for that sole purpose of having youth explore their ancestral homeland. So I'm a Birthright Africa ambassador. I do a lot of fundraising for both my scholarship and the larger programmatic piece because anyone can apply for Birthright Africa. It doesn't have to be specific to Washington, D.C. It doesn't even have to be specific to Ghana. You can explore your ancestral homeland. We have programs all over the continent and they're building every day. So I'm really a huge advocate for Birthright Africa and I do a lot of work with them and a lot of work here on the continent with programmatic elements. And then I have passive income.
Okay.
I invested in some properties back in the States, which is why I said that it being expensive is something you really need to know because if you're in your bag right, here is the place where you can open your entrepreneurial dreams. Like it's one of those things where I was like, wow, I can really flip the bag here.
It's possible,
It's
right?
possible.
It's possible,
It's
right?
possible. And when
you take the bag like this and flip it all the way over.
flip it, just, you know.
We in the kitchen. You know, we being silly. Go ahead, come on.
Yeah, but there's I always say when I first came to Ghana, one of the things I loved, from even the women selling things on the roadside, all the way up to your tailors and to your hair braiders, and then up and up and up, you have entrepreneurial spirit. So here, when you come and you have just a little bit of capital, you're like, oh, I see this needs to be fixed. It's a challenge. I didn't like that, how it went, and I know that I can improve upon it, and I can improve upon it in a way that works for Ghanaians as well. So I've been looking into doing a startup of my own, and it's been sustaining me, but I wouldn't be able to do it without the passive income I have from the States.
Right, and that's from real estate rental income. Okay, nice. So what, do you have any other future plans or dreams, or can you share more about your startup? Is it, if you can't, I understand.
I can.
Okay.
I can.
Just what you can, because I understand intellectual property and proprietary rights.
No. Okay, so just a little bit about me and like my randomness. I love snail mail. I always say like I'm such a analog girl in a digital world. I still have stamps. I still write cards. And the post office here is just like non-existent. Addresses here are kind of non-existent. So when I first came here, I was like, how do people get mail? Like, how do people really get things back and forth? And I know that there are postal systems, but I was thinking about something kind of akin to like how you have like a FedEx or like a USPS where everything is all in one, and I don't see that here. So that's kind of where I'm going.
But you know what, that brings up a point. You saw something that could be seen as a gap or a lack, but you looked at it differently, and it's an opportunity.
Yeah. It's not just an opportunity for even diasporans. It's an opportunity for everybody because even you and I talked. I remember when I called you, I was like, how did you get your truck here? Like, how do you do a container? And it's not that these things don't exist. They do exist. But the vetting that you have to go through to find the right person who's not going to have your stuff all over Tema, and then you got a box and it is flipped. Okay. So now I'm like, all right, this shipping and receiving, there's something to it. And
it's definitely something to it.
And everyone who I know who's here as a diasporan is doing something for themselves, whether it's in the auto industry, the creative industry. So I feel very supported.
Excellent. Excellent.
Yeah.
What advice would you give for other people in your shoes who have some savings, right? or have some passive income, especially since the pandemic, what advice would you give people who might be looking to make that connection to some African country and move here?
The first I would say is do it. I do not regret it. Just do it.
You do not regret it. Okay.
No. Do it.
Do it.
Do it. Jump out the window. Just do it.
Jump out the window. So, you know, because you know the saying, jump and grow wings.
Yeah.
Now, everybody, like, it takes a certain kind of person, I think, to jump and grow wings, but to jump and grow wings. But I do think that everyone can do it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, especially if you're from LA. You got wings. You
Right.
know what I mean? Like, when you think about it, that's actually the blessing of my life is like being from LA, being from DC, being from these like big cities, an epic proportion of an epicenter. That's the word I was looking for. But basically, when you already have to have a little bit of grind and hustle to you anyway, it's going to go far. You know what I mean? So yeah, jump out the window.
And you bring that hustle here, it'll multiply. Like, hey, is Ghana
Hey.
is it Hustle
Hustle
Central,
Central.
or is it Hustle Central?
I think it's like hustle central, then like, you know, exponentially hustle from there.
Right. So, Keren, let me know if this is okay.
Okay.
Are you single?
Yes.
Are you ready to mingle?
Absolutely. You know somebody. Wait.
She's single and ready. This is not a dating show, but this is my sister, so we're gonna get into it. All right, let's talk about this for a little while.
Okay.
I've had 3 women who's traveled with me here on a trip for the first time, meet a man, and get married within a year
Yeah.
or less
Yeah.
than a year. So if you're a single woman, a black woman, and you're moving or visiting Accra, like, is it just, you know, I've heard a lot of different things. I don't know. I'm a married man, but is it like, are the Ghana boys, is it just, are they here for you? Like, what's happening?
Yeah. Oh, of course. So let me just say, I'm single now. Which camera should I look in? Hello. Hello. I'm single now. Okay. Have a Ghana number, US number, whichever one, WhatsApp, Instagram. You can call me. It's fine. And he can vouch.
This is my sister.
Yeah.
But if she called me, it's a problem. She shouldn't have to call me.
Yeah.
Don't have her call. Okay, go ahead.
I can't cook. That's it. I can't cook. But let me just say I'm single now, but when I first came, I was engaged.
Okay.
And I was engaged to a Ghanaian, and
Okay.
I love and adore that Ghanaian, and I'm still close to that Ghanaian, and he's like my person.
Okay.
It didn't work out because we have 2 different religious views and a lot of different cultural views that came up,
Okay.
especially in terms of like child rearing and
Gotcha.
vision for family.
Gotcha.
So
Which are important things, and things that I would say most people would agree are things that might prevent you from getting married.
Yeah.
And I'm happy to hear that those, because some people don't have those conversations.
Well, COVID hit, so we had no choice. You got to talk. you got to talk.
Find out more. Okay.
And I grew up in a somewhat abusive household,
Okay.
Which was from generations of abuse, generations of trauma. So I'm very specific about like not hitting children. And I know that here, like people are like, you won't beat what? You know, and it's like my child, you know,
I will beat you.
I will beat you. So I was like, well, then we can't really have kids because I can't really have that kind of like
Got you.
trauma. But I say all of that to say that being single has been the best aspect of living here. I love dating here. I love it. It is
Really?
my favorite. Yeah.
Now, I have some other sister friends here, and I've heard different views about dating, but everybody
Love it.
not caring.
Everybody not Karen. Everybody not Karen. Karen is cute. Okay. Karen got the little latest fits. Karen always got her little nails on deck. Yeah.
Right.
I just love that it's like I always say, if there's plenty of fish in the sea, Ghana is the sea. So you meet all kinds of black men. They're doing
Not just from Ghana, from
my
all
God.
over.
Oh yeah, they're doing everything. They're into everything. You know, I dated someone who was into the gold industry, someone who was into shipping and receiving, someone who was an entrepreneur, someone who worked for the government. I mean, everything under the sun. And it doesn't mean that it works, but I'm of the mindset, like, I have not sat home one Friday night, you know, and
Right.
it's lots to do, be social, be out, be, you know, in community with people. And when you meet these brothers out here and they just like, it don't mean nothing to them to give you a compliment.
Right.
You know, and
it's not a big deal.
Not a big
like
deal.
it's not.
Yeah.
It's not heavy to do.
No. And if you're like me, where you have natural hair or like, you know, a natural shape and all this, they love that. They're like, girl, what you worried about?
If you know how to drop it like it's hot.
If you know how to drop it, you know, after you back it up, then stop. Right? Exactly.
Right.
So I think, you know, I was always insecure about being a little bit thick and living in LA where everyone is like, you know, this model physique, and they've done all these surgeries, and don't get it twisted, they do that all over the world, but it's just like, well, what am I supposed to do with this little extra over here? And in Ghana, they're like, bring that little extra over here.
We like that extra.
We like that extra.
So
that's the banku. You know, that's the banku. And over here, that's the fish.
Banku on one side and the grilled tilapia on
Grilled
top.
tilapia.
So where's the pepper? Can we?
Pepper.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. So so that's good because people want to know, and there are a lot of single black women specifically and single people in general who want to know. And some people don't like talking about their dating life or the fact that they go out and stuff like that. What's one of your favorite places to go to in Accra?
I love Sandbox. I love it. It's just a beach club that has always a good like scenery, and I find
Nice
it
vibe.
to be a good vibe, good music. I go a lot out. I live in Chato, so I go a lot out to like the Core Bridge pub. It's like a local spot, but that's where I've met not necessarily people to date, but people in my community.
Gotcha.
And I've ended up finding like, oh, this is the
In your
person.
own
Yeah, this
community
who
you
look
found.
out, and this who, you know, this who makes the hardware and makes the tables. And then if I'm really, really, really trying to party, honestly, Ghanaians are very hospitable, so I love a good house party.
Yes, that's, you know what, we're not even, so I tell a lot of people, like, when you start to meet certain people, I'm not going to say the right people, but certain groups of people, you'll get invited to house parties. And sometimes some of the best times that you'll have is at a house party, is at a small house party that goes all night, coolers of drinks, food cooking on the grill, in the kitchen, and it's just a good time.
And if you go to a good enough house party, they'll have banku and they'll have fish, they'll have pepper, you know, it's all good. So that's my favorite scene. When I first got here, though, I was a little offended. I was being approached by married men. I didn't know what that was about. And then I had to...
That didn't happen in the U.S.?
No.
Married men didn't... Or the way, it just felt like married men approaching you very clear that they're married, not like hiding, just like, yeah, I'm married, and... Is it like that, or?
Yeah, like it's like that. Like it's so overt, and it's also so, like in the States. I feel like it meant something. Like you think I'm, you know, down for this like side chick lifestyle. Here, I think it's more like the relationships are distinctive, and you know, I'm interested in getting to know you for who you are. Now, I haven't really like signed up for that, but it at first was a kind of like offensive thing, and then I realized, oh, there's no offense to it. So
it's just how people do.
It's just how it is.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just how it is.
That was interesting.
Yeah. So call me. Should I give my number? It's Vodafone.
No.
Yeah.
Leave us with one solid piece of specific advice
Yeah.
for women, single women, who move here and are looking are looking to get into business and, you know, and just to start a new life. Like, what is one or two things that you would say to them? These are some things you should be sure to do. You know, like you've already made a decision, right? You're moving here, you're here. What are a few things that you would say, do this?
Well, to everyone, not necessarily men or women, I would say have a little bit of humility.
Okay.
And then specifically to women, I would take that a step further. The humility piece, I would want to say, like, calm down, you know, like, don't be a hard rock when you really are a gem. I think a lot of black women, and trust me, I'm one of them, okay? Like, I'm one of them. I oftentimes can have an attitude. I oftentimes can think, what is this person doing? And, what, you know, and you instantly kind of hype it up. But if you have a little bit of humility, you'll understand that Ghana has its own rules and you don't supersede their rules. Like, just because something isn't working the way you think it should work doesn't mean it's not working.
Right.
So just understand and decolonize your mind a little bit and have a little humility to say, Uncle, what is going on here? You know, Auntie, what is going on here? Could I get some help? And then from there, like when I say calm down, I mean, you know, don't get to cursing out everybody. Because I mean, I had to run up on somebody in time. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to lie. Like, that's how I even thought about this. You know, I thought about the shipping and receiving because all my stuff wasn't shipped or received. Okay. And I was like, let me go up in this. And really got so overworked and so angry and so this and so that. And I realized all I had to do was to really take a different approach and say, please, sir, like, can you just do what you said to do on the integrity and strength of your word? And coming down a notch has helped.
Has helped.
Yeah, that's my
I
advice.
really enjoyed this conversation,
Same.
Karen. I think I've definitely learned something new. And I think our listeners and viewers who are considering moving, and those who are even here will definitely get something from this conversation. So we look forward to seeing more. I look forward to meeting students from the Black Swan Society and Scholarship out of Washington, D.C., and your Birthright Africa scholars who come.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Diallo.
Thank you all for tuning in to another wonderful episode of Diaspora Link, here exclusively on Ghanaweb with me, your host, Diallo Sumbry, and our guest, Keren Johnson.
You're doing great things around the world.
We want to thank you for tuning in with us for another episode of Diaspora Link, here exclusively on Ghanaweb TV with me, your host, Diallo Sumbry. I really hope you enjoyed the conversation and interview with our guest, Keren Johnson, who recently relocated from LA to Accra. We'll end the show today, as we do every week, with some ancestral wisdom by way of proverb. Today's proverb is, to try and fail is not laziness. I'll say that one more time. To try and fail is not laziness. We want you to take that with you, and we'll see you next week on Diaspora Link, exclusively on Ghanaweb TV.
You're doing great things around the world. You're doing great things around the world. Yeah, you're doing great things around the world. You're doing great things around the world. Great things, yeah.